Assalamu alaikum, it's your sister Claire. So hello. So I was really happy that the last day in the life video got so many views, mashallah, and thank you to everybody who subscribed, like mashallah, that means so much to me, and all the comments as well. Even though like some people were asking questions, alhamdulillah, ask your questions, it's fine. So I kind of wanted to talk about like a lot of people have been asking me, am I still going to be Muslim even though I'm divorced? Because usually what happens is a sister converts to Islam just to marry somebody. To recap, if you're new here, basically I recently got divorced. It wasn't great. I mean, I was married for 11 years. It would have been 12 years. And it does make me really sad that things ended. But I was not happy. I was just part of the furniture I wasn't bothered with. I wasn't given my Islamic rights, even down to the basic ones. It's kind of not something I'm ready to talk about. Maybe it'll be another video in like a couple of months. Maybe I'll be ready to talk about it then, like what happened when I got divorced. Or why I got divorced. I'm not really 100% ready to talk about it, but basically, yeah, I am still going to be Muslim even though I'm divorced. However, one thing that you need to know about me is that I was actually Muslim before I even got married. So I was Muslim for about 2 years before I even got married. I came to Islam because I wanted to come to Islam, because I was interested in it. My actual mother is the one that kind of guided me to Islam, even though she's not Muslim. So it's a very long story. It's part of my conversion story, which I will make a video on, because the amount of people that ask me for my convert story is insane. So I'm gonna have to make a video on it. Comment down below if you want to hear my convert story, because I don't want to just upload videos of me rambling and stuff. But basically I am still Muslim. I will still follow Islam, because it was not Islam's fault that my marriage was crappy. Islam put all of the safety nets there for me, and unfortunately this person didn't abide by them, you know. So that's what led for the breakage of my marriage, basically. Will I ever get married again? Right now, no. I feel like, to be honest, I'm becoming a bit of a commitnophobe. You know, you're gonna have to be darn special. I'll use the American thing there. You're gonna have to be darn special for me to you know, want to get married again. And I am terrified. I'm terrified to get married again, you know, because it's like, what if things mess up again? Because my partner, he promised me he'd never give up on me, and what did he do? He gave up on me. So, you know, like it's very hard, you know, to kind of trust somebody again. So at the moment, I'm kind of focusing on myself and my son, and I'm trying to make my own kind of business. I'm thinking of moving to Malaysia by myself with my son, you know, so this is kind of what I'm thinking of doing, you know. So yeah, big spoiler, I'm thinking of moving to Malaysia, but I have to get my finances and stuff in order first. Whether that will actually happen, I do not know, so watch this space. So yeah, it's all kind of up in the air at the moment, but you know, nobody goes into a marriage expecting it to break up, you know, like and we were together for a really long time. I mean, like, but unfortunately things just did not work out. He didn't like me anymore, unfortunately, and no matter what I did, it was never good enough, you know. So I stopped trying. I was like, well, if it's not good enough, I'm just not going to do it anymore, you know. So this is why I stopped. I was like, okay, well, if I'm just going to get shot in the face for it, there's no point, you know. So that was actually a really poor choice of words. I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit that I got married because I was really scared. Like, when I was younger, a lot of my colleagues had died in their apartments, and I didn't want to end up like that, you know. I didn't want to end up you know, dead in my apartment for a couple of weeks and nobody knew that I was there. Nobody noticed I was gone, but my work noticed that they were gone. That's a really horrible way to go, in my opinion, you know. So I kind of did make a bad choice based on desperation and scaredness and fear, you know, fear of being alone. But now I kind of realize that it's okay to be alone. You know, I'm never going to be alone because I have my son, you know, and I will always have my ex-husband there as support with my son. We co-parent and he does it very well. I do it very well. So we try to be cordial for the sake of our son. I wish that I didn't have to be in this environment. I didn't want my son to come from a broken home. You know, it's something that really upset me, you know, because I wanted to give my son the best life, you know, and I feel like parents together is always a good thing, because people who come from a broken home, they usually like end up with all like these mental disorders or personality quirks or scars, and I didn't want that for my son, you know. So it was hard. It is, and it still is hard to think, shit, I messed up my son, you know. So yeah, one thing I will say to people who are thinking of getting married because out of fear, out of loneliness, out of desperation, do not do it, okay? I know it's freaking hard. It is hard. There is a honeymoon period, but when that honeymoon period dies, that's it. That's the thing, okay? Get married to somebody who you can spend the rest of your life with, who you are compatible with, who lights you up, who actually encourages you as well, you know. Do your research on that person before you commit. Ask around your community, ask around your neighborhood, ask your friends, do you know this person? Do you know what they're like? Do your research, because that was the problem that I had. You know, like I went into the Eid party and I ended up speaking to another sister, and she said, was this person overseas? I said, yes. She said, she said, that's why. She said, next time, she said, marry somebody from your own country. Even if it's a different ethnicity, it doesn't matter. Do your research on them, ask around in the community, because that's vital, you know, because where there's rumors, there's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire, you know, just saying. Would I ever marry a Westerner? So a Westerner in terms, I mean a non-Muslim person. And honestly, I don't know, because I have such a different mindset to a Westerner. And I know that sounds really strange because I'm white and I look white, but I have a very Arabic Western mindset, you know. And I do think it would clash, you know. I did try dating a Westerner once and I found it so strange, you know, and I was like, oh, you know. But if I was going to marry a white person, they would have to be Muslim, you know. So yeah, boys. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm only kidding, nah. But no, I think that I'm very open, as long as they're Muslim and they're from the UK and they can speak English and they understand my culture here now. I think that's the main thing, because a lot of the problems in my marriage were based on cultural conflictions, you know. So that was a lot of, you know, we did have a lot of conflict in that sense, you know. So, and yeah, I think I would, I mean, I did date a Westerner like a couple of, you know, like before, and it was nice that they kind of understood my mindset, and it was nice that they understood that, you know, affection and things like that. Whereas like with some cultures, they're very non-affectionate, you know, and women, we need that, you know, like especially me, I need cuddles. So would I ever get married again? Not right now. I think that if I was going to get married again, I'd want to get to know the person, you know, be friends and things like that, and then like, you know, possibly get married again. Do I miss being a wife? Absolutely, fucking positively I do. I miss being a wife. I miss the family unit, you know. And I went into a marriage. I don't really know why I'm getting upset. Oh my God. I went into a marriage because I wanted to share my life with someone. I'm not going to get upset. Okay. It doesn't mean that I can't be on my own. I have moved to countries alone, you know, and do I like being alone? Yes, I do. But But I find it better when there's someone around, you know, especially somebody who I really love and care about. You know, I want to share my life with someone. Like, say, for example, if I went to Japan and I saw this and I saw that, it's a shit feeling standing at something absolutely beautiful and a beautiful moment and you've got no one to share it with. It sucks. It fucking sucks ass. It really does. And I don't want to go back to that situation again. Alhamdulillah, I have my son, you know, but that's what I want. I want to share my life with someone, you know, that's the main thing. But yeah, I think eventually I will get married again, even though I'm absolutely freaking terrified. But I just think, well, who is gonna want me? You know, I'm in that negative headspace right now. Like, I'm just like, who's gonna want me? Do you hear what I mean? Like, I have a son, you know, I'm 38 and I'm just like, you know, it's just, you kind of have like all these crazy doubts like running through your head and stuff like that, you know, and I think that's normal when you know, you've just gone through divorce, you know, so yeah, that's all I have for that right now. But if you're new here and you feel like sticking around, you can subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. If you have any questions, I will try and do a Q&A video next. So if you have any questions regarding Islam or regarding my life, leave the comments down below. Please be respectful. Don't be a douchebag, okay? Wa alaikum salam.